When you take the bike out for a test ride, go ahead and run through all the gears. It should work great. If you need a little bit of adjusting, we'll show you how to do that right now. For this, we need a 9mm wrench and a screwdriver. So what we'll do, this is much easier on a bike stand. However, very few people have a bike stand at home. But the point is that in order to do this operation, we'll need to be picking the rear wheel up. It's often best if it's completely off of the ground all the time, but I'll show you how to do it without that. Because you do need to be pedaling to actually shift. However, we can shift a few gears at a time, turn the pedals to get it down. The first step is to turn the shifter into 7th gear. So I'll turn it a few clicks here, turn the pedals, a few more clicks, more pedaling all the way to 7th gear, and then pedal, brake. Now the shifter itself is in 7th gear. As expected, the gear is also in 7th, okay? Sometimes it may not. It may go into 6th, or it may seem like it's making a little bit of noise, in which case we can adjust it. This one seems great, but we'll go ahead and run through the sequence anyway, show you how it's done. We put the kickstand down. Remember, I have the shifter in 7th gear. The very next step, it's very important, is that we are going to loosen the cable. With our 9mm, go ahead down to the pinch nut. Loosen that. That was about 1.5 turns, just enough so that the cable, I'm going to go a little bit more, maybe 2 turns total. So the cable is not attached to the derailleur anymore. And we're going to turn the high limit screw. It's marked by an H. It's also the most forward screw here. We want the pulleys on the derailleur, which are the little tiny gear wheels, to line up with that 7th gear, which is the smallest gear. I'm going to turn that in. It looks like it could go in just a touch. It's a little harder to gauge by sight, but it can be done. In a shop, we typically do it by listening to it. We'll turn the pedals while we're turning that screw and see if it starts to engage the 6th gear, back it off a little bit. We also have a really nice video on that. It's pretty helpful. This is an adjustment that can be done in a bike stand, can be done in about 45 seconds. Here it'll take us maybe about 5 minutes. Okay, so now that we have the derailleur lined up with the 7th gear, the small one, and the cable is reattached, now let's go ahead and test it. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take the kickstand up. We'll go 1 click from 7 to 6, 7 to 6 on the shifter, and then we'll turn the pedals and see if it does indeed shift into 6th. It's rattling a lot. It's rattling a lot, but it's not going into 6th. That's usually what we experience when we go ahead and do a gear adjustment. That's expected. So we'll go ahead and add some more tension to the cable. There's a plastic adjustment barrel adjuster knob right here. Go ahead and turn that in the counterclockwise direction. I would say about 2 full turns. You'll see a little little silver cylinder start to emerge out. That means that it's putting more tension on the cable. Let's go ahead and turn the gears now and see if it pops into 6th. There it goes. It went right into 6th as expected. So now we'll go just to 5. We'll index right up to 5 and then see if it goes. It went into 5th. We'll go into 4th. Just 1 at a time. There it goes. 3. And we go 1 at a time because you may need to apply a little bit more tension or maybe back it off a little bit. As you go through the gears, you'll find out. Now we're in 2. Goes into 2 and then 1. Just like that. It's in 1st gear now, so we've adjusted that perfectly. There's also a low limit adjustment screw. You usually don't need to use that. That will determine if it's in a little bit too far, then the chain will not be able to get into 1st gear. If it's out too far, the chain may possibly go off of 1st gear into the wheel. Usually you don't need to worry about that low limit screw.